Hey guys, this is Kerbal with Tape, and today you join me for episode 3 of Being SpaceX. And today we're continuing on with the mission that I ended on last episode, where Jebediah was, um, uh, taking a communication satellite into geosynchronous orbit and gaining some science. So I just need to collect their data out of these materials bays and mystery goo units because I'm not taking them back to Kerbin because there's no point. Um, I might because you can grab the data and don't have to take more stuff back. It doesn't really make a difference. But anyway, I do really hate having to get data out of these materials bays because the distance you have to be is the same as it is with everything else, but it's from the center, so there's quite a big collision mesh, so it just makes it kind of difficult. Anyway, the problem that I was experiencing, but that I think is going to be the thing that I think is going to be the problem is that I don't think I have enough fuel left, because I underestimated how much fuel it would take to get to a geosynchronous orbit. But anyway, let's get this satellite set up. It doesn't have enough power to keep going forever, because I kind of underestimated how much these antennas took to run on remote tech. However, I do think, I know that it will be at least a temporary replacement, a temporary stand-in whilst I put better satellites in, which you will see this episode. I'm just seeing where I can get the maximum power, and it's looking not great. Um, so I'm just going to switch back to the other thing that, yeah, this, and deorbit, because that satellite is going to be fine there until I need it. I'll just set it up when I need it because I've left one of the antennas activated, so it'll stay in communications link with mission control. But anyway, I have run out of fuel and I have hardly enough. Well, not even slightly enough fuel to get back, so I'm going to use the RCS pack because I don't want to lose Jebediah Kerman, and this is a little cheaty, but it's a game, so it's fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna just push against this until it deorbits. This took ages, so it has been sped up, and I did cut most of it out because it was boring, and by the end of it, I kind of wanted to kill myself. So I'll decouple that because I don't need it, although power would be nice, but there's a glitch with TAC life support right now, so I don't actually take any electric charge on EVA, so I'm not really going to be using any. But anyway, after a lot of burning and a lot of hating myself for not putting more fuel on the spacecraft, I managed to get a periaps in the atmosphere. And let's bring this back. And I didn't really take into account the whole decoupler on the nose thing, but it works out fine. So we'll just, deorbit because you've seen this a billion times. It'll remain sped up. But I have got some nice scientific data, which hopefully I'll get some nice parts out of. And there's really annoying, like, animation glitches with the UI in the 64-bit version. It's not all the time, but it's occasional, and it's kind of annoying. I assume that's just something with anti-aliasing, or no, I did know the term for it. I don't know, like double buffering or something. But it'll hopefully get fixed, and it's not too annoying. Unless you've just been deorbiting something with an EVA pack, then you hate everything. But anyway, we got 45 science out of that, so that's nice. And got some money back for those parts, and Jeb's back, so that's good. But yeah, I'm thinking just grab structural parts, and I am using remote tech, as you can see there's a bunch of weird looking parts, and that's all remote tech. But I think right now, what I want is this structural stuff, not remote tech, infernal robotics. That's what all that stuff is, not remote tech. They don't sound similar, but I guess, I don't know. But I quite like launch clamps, that'd be nice. Anyway, I'm gonna grab myself some contracts, just some testing stuff. There's lots of testing things. A lot of them don't pay as much as the part is worth. That's assuming that you're going to recover the part, or it's actually quite a nice way to get a little bit of money off parts you use on actual missions. Like, some of them will pay you to test an engine, and it's less than what the engine's worth, but it'll half the price of the engine if you're using it on a mission, so it's a nice little thing. But I'm thinking, I'm just going to grab a few of these, because I've already got quite a few running, so I just like looking through them and seeing what's going. And there's quite a lot of these testing things, and I'm trying to think of the best way to do them. And it is kind of a matter of you want to recover a lot of stuff, or use it to get money off a mission. But yeah, I actually took one a little earlier, testing the basic turbojet, which I haven't unlocked yet. But you get given experimental parts. So this is actually going to cost 5.5 grand. But the payout for all of this, because I'm also testing some parachutes and a few other things, the payout will cover the 5 grand. However, I didn't really take into account anything, so I just built this rig because I don't have any jet parts, and I have to get up to about 6 kilometers, and it doesn't go great because this rig isn't exactly aerodynamic, and I am playing with Ferrum Aerospace and remote tech, which I believe is the problem. Yeah, oh no, you'll see in a minute. But yeah, I lose control because it's a dumbass rig, and it breaks apart, and I just lost 5.5 grand. Yeah, these kind of rig things don't work like you'd want them to. I kind of thought that I'd just be able to attach it all to a rig and then test it and get my money and stuff. But yeah, if you're using Ferrum Aerospace, then this sort of stuff just breaks apart, and I just lost 5.5 grand, so that wasn't great. Um, so this was a failed test. So I have quite a while to actually test that turbojet engine, so I'll do it on a plane. This has taught me a lot about not doing this. But anyway, we must move on to take another satellite into orbit. The same sort of thing, but better and without a manned mission. I think each of these missions with the rocket costs about 17,000, whatever the currency is. I'm just going to, like, I don't know, 17.5 grand. That's the best way to put it. Yeah, what is the currency called? I don't know, I'll just call it 17.5 grand. Anyway, and I don't get any money back on them. I think on the next one I do actually get a little bit of money back on the engine, but only a few hundred. So that's I do make a big loss on this, but it's funded by my scientific projects, which I really like the idea of doing all this stuff like the government to fund my actual projects, because this'll, and I have to put in infrastructure for going to the moon, and I like having stuff like remote tech because I feel like money builds up really quickly in career mode, and if you have something like remote tech, meaning you have to put lots of launches that don't make you any money, that's a really um yeah, I'll probably have just cut that out. I was just saying goodnight to my parents. Um, and what was I saying? Remote tech. Yeah, it's nice. It adds a little cost to the game, and I do like a little hardness, and that's why I'm doing this all hardcore-y. But yeah, I will be needing at least 3 of these satellites with downlinks and communicating to each other and active vessels. Um, each of the satellites has 3 antennas, so it can point one at mission control, one at active vessel, and one at another communication satellite to maintain a network. I just put this in a slightly slower orbit. I'm using the orbital period indicator on the orbit info. I pointed with my hand, not that you can see that, hopefully. But anyway, so yeah, I just dropped back so there would be more in the way of mission control, because that's quite important to not lose contact with it. But anyway, I need to activate one of these antennas. My orbital period's about 4 minutes off perfect synchronous orbit because I didn't really know how powerful the decoupler was. So that's going to be a problem. But when I have 3, it shouldn't be too much of a problem, I'm hoping. As long as I've got my maths right. I think I'm going to have them working in groups of 3, and I might have 2 sets, which will work hopefully quite well. And then I'm going to have some longer range ones for interplanetary and lunar and Minmus missions, because that will be quite important. That thing on the top was just for launch, that little antenna on the top, that's just for launch, because it's an omnidirectional, you don't have to point at anything. Anyway, onto another launch of basically the same thing. The rocket's slightly different. It's using an LVT-45 engine, which I'm getting a little bit of money off. As you can see there, contract complete. I got 210 credits back for that because, because I tested it for them, and that's nice. I save a tiny bit of money on the mission, which is good. But anyway, back into 4 times time accelerating. We've got to put this into a similar orbit, but just about 2 hours behind. Because if they're working in groups of 3 in a 6-hour orbit, they're going to need to be 2 hours apart. Simple maths. And hopefully that'll maintain a constant downlink. A constant downlink to the mission control, and can control every vessel I need to control, which is probe controlled, because I'm going to be wanting to send, I might not even send probes to the moon. I might just straight up go for manned missions straight away, because that'll probably speed the process along, and I've already done quite a lot of that stuff, and if you watch Solar Civilization, you've already seen me do all of that stuff. Talking of Solar Civilization, there hasn't been an episode in a couple of weeks, and that is because of annoying mod stuff. But one is almost recorded, and I've done a little workaround. It's mainly Kerbal attachment system, which is a problem, but I've worked around it, and there'll be an episode hopefully fairly soon. Anyway, back to this. This is actually going to put it in pretty much the same place as the last satellite, but I'm going to just, slow it down or speed it up or whatever to put myself behind the satellite. You can see that it's that communication satellite I put up last time has moved away from where it was positioned over the KSC, because I've waited a week between launches, as I usually do. Annoyingly, I lose all downlink with that, so I've got to switch to this temporary one and point this at active vessel, or ComSat 1 I think actually pointed at. So now I've got a relay, as you can see, and now I can control this even though it's blindsided by Kerbin. And now I need to put it into roughly, hopefully as close to a 6-hour orbit as I possibly can. If you actually look at this, I have not got it a third of the way around the orbit, which is really annoying, but I'm going to put up another set of these. And hopefully that'll sort that out. But hopefully for now, when I put another one of these up, it'll just work better. And because of that temporary satellite, it should be fine for now. But anyway, we've got a quick test of a decoupler and a Sepatron. And I'll just make a little money off this, because it's always nice to make a little bit of money. So we'll just decouple that. And that's 2 missions complete right there. I didn't make a huge amount, but I thought I might as well do them. That's 110. And I think I made a little bit of profit there. And that's another 110, which is... Oh no, that one was 441 and 27 science. I did that one for the science, actually. It was, I think, testing the Sepatron motor. But yeah, so we've got a little bit more science. And I think I have enough to unlock some new parts, maybe. Yeah, the slightly bigger... yeah, the advanced rocketry, the nice engines, and the normal fuel tanks. It'll just be, better. And hopefully soon we'll be able to get heavy rocketry. Anyway, if you know me at all, you'll know that I will be working on SpaceX-style Grasshopper tests, and this is called Grasshopper because I'm very original. I'm also going to get some money for testing the those Mark 16 parachutes on top, because this is a parachute test, not a propulsive landing test. Although I kind of didn't take into account Ferrum Aerospace again, and that antenna on top may have broken off. Yeah. So that was really dumb, and this cost about, I think, something like 10 grand, and it's about to smash into the floor. And I have no control because I have no downlink, and I know it's very close, but it has no antennas, so it has no way of being controlled remotely. So this is going to plunge into the ground, and I'm going to lose a lot of money, which is not ideal. So I will need to be finding some kind of mission that pays, because I haven't done a well-paying mission in a while, and I've just done a lot of philanthropic missions, and now I lost a bit more money. And if that breaks the probe, I get no money back, and it did. So, yeah, that's a thing. So, I'm going to need some money, and that's what this is. This is a very cheap rocket. It's using SRBs, and it does have an abort system that will hopefully work, launching with Jim Kerman, because in the last episode I tested an abort system which killed the Kerbal, which was kind of a irony. I'm being paid something like 40 grand for doing this mission. I just need to return someone's science from in space. It's horribly controllable, so it will be whatever orbit I can achieve. I've already been paid a little bit of money back for that solid rocket booster because I tested it. I will be paid again for testing that Mark 16 parachute on re-entry. I'm not sure of all the other missions, but the main one is, I think, going to pay me 40 grand. It's already paid me 5 grand up front to just return some scientific data while in orbit around Kerbin. It's quite a nice mission, and I do need the money because I have more satellites to put up and I have more missions to send. And I have already probably spent most of the advance on the Exploring the Moon mission, and I would very much like to explore the moon. But anyway, that's all I need. I just need to bring that back safely, and I will be paid 40,000 credits, I guess I'll call them. And I have got a basic abort system, because I do not want to be losing Kerbals, because I will lose money for that, and because I don't like losing Kerbals. It sucks. Anyway, Using this, it's got a really big upper stage because it had a solid rocket booster main stage, and I tend to use bigger upper stages for that sort of stuff. But anyway, that was a fairly cheap rocket, and I got paid for many things. And I just need to be deploying this parachute between 6,000 meters and 13,700 meters at a speed of between 270 meters a second and 570 meters a second, and then I will be paid for it. I think it more than covers the cost of the parachute. I think it's actually quite a well-paying mission. I do really like this. I've never had to think about what I use on my missions, and it is just such a nice feature. Just better than that. There's actually quite a lot of things I wish were in there that aren't, but it is quite a nice feature. Like actually being, oh yeah, there we go, deployed the parachute and got some money back. One thing I really wish was in this was being paid to take a satellite to orbit. Not one you design, one you're given. They give you a satellite and you take it to orbit, because that would be like real stuff. And maybe one day they'll implement that. But anyway, we are down, and when I recover that, I will get my money. I've pretty much completed all the missions I had anyway, but I do have a little bit more science to get from the surface of Kerbal, above the grasslands, I believe. Yeah, 5.6 science right there. Store that experiment, and I need to take an EVA report and a surface sample as well. There you go. That's all the science I can be gaining, because I want to get as much science as possible, and you should never forget Kerbal if you're collecting science. So we'll recover that and get paid, son. We'll see that in a minute. There we go. 190 grand I have now, and a little bit more science. Not enough to unlock the next parts, but hopefully that will be soon. Yeah, I've got a crap ton of funds. That's that done, and just click on that mission. Hopefully I do that. Yeah, there you go. 30 grand, not 40, but still, 30 grand's very nice. That'll pay for a lot more missions. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Being SpaceX. If you have, drop it a like. That would be wonderful. This has been KSP with Tape. I will see you next time.